What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? So welcome back to another video on the AJ channel, and today I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of my creative side when it comes to building stuff. Today I don't play Minecraft much. I've barely played Minecraft on any consoles like PS4 or Xbox or anything like that. But you know what? I felt like it was time that I do something like this, and you know what? First thing that I honestly thought of was either Colts Field or the Meadows. And I figure because a lot of, newer MLW fans know the Meadows more than they do Colts Field, we'd run with that. So, that was the plan for this video. I built the Meadows to the best of my ability in Minecraft with the resources that I had and what I just had in mind. So anyway, let's get right into this. So the first thing I did, obviously I decided to go with a, both a spruce and an oak kind of idea for the trees that are always in the back. And as you can see, there's already a beehive that had spawned there by mistake. But yeah, so that was pretty much the first day, because for me that was just laying everything out and setting everything up for me to start building the actual field itself. So yeah, it was relatively simple, just starting that off. And then day 2, this is where I started to pick up on everything, really. I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do, and slowly as time would go on, this is where I'd add something out, something new, or do something else, and it would pop into my head what I wanted to do. And all the dimensions of everything, I don't exactly recall, because this was everything that I did off of, I wouldn't what the Minecraft equivalent of freehand, just building on the spot. So on day 2, day 1 was really quick because I didn't have much time, I remember. So this was when I was actually building, the outfield fence on day 2. Trying to make it as symmetrical as I can for the sake of, just it making sense. And that's when I also decided to, get the field dimensions, the base paths, and everything like that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on the MLW field, and I don't know how much of it I could honestly replicate in Minecraft. So there may be a couple stumbles that I encounter along the way, but unfortunately that's that's something that I had to deal with throughout the entirety of this process of building. And so now you can see that I'm using some green stained glass pane for the back wall. I don't know if there was exactly anything that I can use for possibly the top of it, like the MLW guys have, where they have more of a grayish, clear, mesh fence kind of thing, and then a yellow, top of the wall thing. Don't exactly know if I was able to do that in Minecraft, but this is what I'm working with. This is just a somewhat decent replica, I guess you could say. Now, my apologies if I do suck at just suck at building in this game. My one reasoning for this is because I barely play it, so especially working with the glass panes and stuff, when I destroy this kind of these kinds of blocks, it doesn't always work out in my favor. And I don't look I'm not placing them in the right spot there, because I honestly have trouble with thinner stuff like that. So next thing that I actually did here, I decided to use a yellow banner. Shout out banner. I used a yellow banner, and I decided to just put those up as a foul poles on both sides. This is probably the easier, most obvious thing that you can do to build the Minecraft MLW stadium, and that was pretty much it for me on day 2. Day 3, this was initially going to be what I would use for the baselines and the warning track and stuff. I don't recall if I did a warning track. I'll let you know if I did. Well, you'll see later on. But initially, I wanted to go with the white for the baselines and stuff, but to me it didn't exactly look good. It didn't look appealing, so I ended up redoing that. And then I also tried to figure out something for the BL 101 banner. I wanted to start with that, and to me that it didn't look the way I wanted it to. And you'll see my troubles with working with the banners later on in this video, because that was an absolute disaster. So yeah, I decided to go against it, and then I found the perfect one, the dirt path block. For me, that honestly worked out perfectly, because it seems to me like the ideal, thing you'd use as a base path if you're building a baseball field within Minecraft. So I personally like using that rather than anything else. And to me, honestly, that looks like it would suit a wiffle ball or baseball field. Now the baselines look a little more natural rather than just a random white quartz block. And this is where I started doing the dimensions for the bases. Simple enough. Bases are a white carpet. Like this one's relatively simple. I think I did about 14 to 15 blocks down, just simple enough due to the just due to how big I actually built the field, which wasn't that big. I highly doubt this can even be played on any platforms, but that's besides the point here, besides my intentions. I did have a little bit of trouble on day 3 just deciding to finish up because again, I started working on calculus homework and just was getting used to the workload of calculus in grade 12, my senior year at this time. So I did not have much time on my hands to really do that much, so like I'm slowly getting better at it now. But anyways, this is what we're working with here. And now, here we are to the point where, again, I'm just trying to figure out what I can do for the banner. Because I really don't know what kind of patterns I can do on these, because there's no exact, like, recipe book where you can, like... Actually, I think there's a recipe book, but I don't know if it'll tell you literally everything we can possibly do here. So now, I did actually need to... So here's day 5, by the way. I literally needed to Google to search up, like, an MLW video to see what the BL101 banner looks like, and it kind of looks something like that, where I know there's a bit of like red in the middle and there's a white line, so you know what, that's the closest I'll get for that replica. And it just got really confusing on how to do the rest of the banners. So I think for me, this may not look the cleanest, but I honestly like it. Having these different colors as the banners, you may not have the designs on them, but using the white, black, and yellow stained colored glass pane, that ended up working really well in my opinion as a sponsor sign in the back. Next up, I tried to do the scoreboard in the outfield. Again, this was another instance of I did not exactly know what I was doing in the banner area. As you can see, I'm just plugging in random, I'd call them formulas, I guess. This is what we ended up with, but as you can tell, this, you'll see when I back up this, I'm just not satisfied with this. Like, this just does not look good whatsoever in my opinion. I definitely wanted to make it look aesthetically pleasing, even though I don't think it's possible for anybody to play on this. And even if it was, I'd honestly probably add some more touches to it and try to make it look more professional, put more time into this. But otherwise, for the scoreboard, I decided to just go with a standard green clay. I'm pretty sure the block was, because there's so many different kinds of colored items in the game. And then a white slab of, I believe, quartz on top. Now from there, simple enough, I did the picnic table on the outside. This to me was probably common sense. I used 2 sets of stairs, and then I also used a slab in the middle. And initially I decided to put it on just on top of a regular spruce block. Instead I went with a spruce fence, because to me I think that would honestly make more sense as legs, because you're not going to be sitting at like a log with a table on top. You're not going to be doing that. Meanwhile, to see how long I've actually been working on this, I planted a 2x2 tree, and it grew out to be pretty damn big, as you can see from over there. They really don't have any lights at the moment, so what I decided to do was build something else that was more like this. So I took, again, a spruce lamppost and then put a bunch of spruce trapdoors on top of a glowstone light, and in my opinion, it actually doesn't look so bad. I kind of like it as, a little bit of a light post, and for me, I think it looks decent. And next up, I did the strike zone. Again, there's only so much design you can get in Minecraft without modding it. Now, the backstop was a little bit of a struggle, mainly because I could have done it in cobwebs, but there wasn't really not going to be anything that really worked in that case. And then I also did the pitcher's mound with a gray carpet, and then I noticed it did not line up with any with home plate or second base, so I just had to shuffle that over by 1 block, and now it lines up perfectly with home plate, third, second, and first. As you would see now, it works perfectly. Now I noticed that, again, at the same time, the backstop, I used glass pane. Problem was with me, this did not match up whatsoever. This did not work, so I needed to rebuild it, and from there make it more symmetrical, because again, I want to at least make this look aesthetically pleasing, somewhat symmetrical, make it look decent. No, this just doesn't make sense. I knew I built one too far out, but you don't see it until you actually do it. Now the next thing that I did, I'll admit I did have trouble with this, figuring out how to exactly set up the camera behind home plate Now, initially I was going to do this thing where I remember in older Minecraft, you can do this thing where stairs would curve around like you can see right over there. But unfortunately, they can't do that anymore unless you have a stair placed right next to it. So I just left that for now, and unfortunately they patched that. I'm pretty sure that was what you used to be able to do in Minecraft. And now here we are. We are moving back over to what I was doing the picnic table that they have underneath the tarp that they usually have for every series. Now the series, the tarp itself. Now this, I know it's usually a blue tarp, but this time I decided to do something different, like go with my own kind of thing. I wanted to add like my own little creativity to this. So I took some gray stone slabs as well as some pretty like different, kind of stone. And for me, I ended up doing that. This turned into this little canopy that you see right here. It's got a nice little pattern to it. I feel like the light blue and the like slight touch of gray, they kind of complement each other. So I liked how this ended up looking in the end for like a canopy, just for my little touch on this, because I tried to make this look as close to the MLW field as possible. But hey, this is the best you're gonna do. So listen, I may not be the best builder at this, so I know that this may not look the greatest. Last thing I did, obviously, here, what you're seeing now is just adding some like different colored, chairs, which is a simple staircase and a colored sign. And then from there, this is the final product of the Meadows in Minecraft. Guys, tell me what you think about this. I hope you do appreciate this little build that I made. It honestly looks a lot more difficult than it was for me to put together. And I will tell you that honestly, you need to be able to like have that little bit of a like creative touch in your mind, and you also need to be at least decent at Minecraft. At least I got one of those things where I got some bit of creativity, but otherwise I'm not the greatest at Minecraft. You could see because as I'm building, I'm placing blocks in the wrong spots, breaking the wrong blocks, like I'm doing everything wrong. But somehow the end result turned into this. In my opinion, it does not look half bad. For you to call it the Meadows, long shot. But I honestly like the feel of like what I had put together here, so I hope you guys like this. It is the Easter is actually coming up this Sunday. I'm gonna be uploading probably either Friday or Saturday this video. Guys, enjoy your Easter weekend if you guys celebrate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace out.